Ask My Instructor 3.6.48. We're going to find the second derivative of this function. To do that, we will start by finding the first derivative. Notice that the function is a product. Set up the product rule. The product rule is the derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second. Next, we're going to find the derivative of 3x and the derivative of cosine x squared. The derivative of 3x is just 3. The derivative of cosine x squared requires the chain rule. The chain rule for cosine is that the derivative of cosine u is negative sine u du dx. So the derivative of cosine of x squared is negative sine of x squared times the derivative of x squared. The derivative of x squared is 2x. And then we just put the 2x in the front to get our final answer on the derivative of cosine of x squared. Use our findings to rewrite the equation. And next, we're going to do the multiplication and do a general cleanup. And this is what we get for the first derivative. So y equals 3x cosine x squared dy dx equals 3 cosine x squared minus 6x squared times sine of x squared. Take the derivative again to find the second derivative. Notice that we have a difference of two terms. So we're going to use the difference rule. Okay, I'm going to now just move this last line up to the top of the next slide. So here I'm just starting with a new slide. All right, so this top line was what was on the previous slide at the end. We're going to need to find a couple of derivatives. Recall the derivative of cosine of x squared, we have already found that, so let's not do that again. Now that we've got that piece, we're left with the second derivative. We need to find the derivative of x squared sine of x squared. And I'm going to have to use a different slide for that because I've run out of room again. All right, so we're going to work on this blue box, and then what we find for the derivative of x squared sine x squared, we're going to put that back into our second derivative equation. All right, here we go. X squared sine x squared is a product. So again, we set up the product rule. After we set up the product, we take the derivative of x squared. There's another derivative that we need to do, and that's the derivative of sine of x squared. Now, we found the derivative of cosine of x squared. finding the derivative of sine of x squared will play out in a very similar manner. The only difference is the derivative of sine is cosine. So the derivative of sine of x squared is cosine of x squared times the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. So the derivative of sine of x squared is 2x cosine x squared. Put that into our piece there, that blue piece. And that's what we get. All right, now we need to clean this up just a little bit more before we put it back into our second derivative equation. So let's just do one last cleanup. Distributing or not really distributing, but multiplying by 2x and then multiplying by x squared, this is what I get. Now we're going to put this, remember this was just one piece of the puzzle for finding the second derivative. So we're going to put this piece that we just found in for the derivative of x squared sine x squared that we were looking for. So let's do that. Okay, now believe it or not, we're almost done. Let's go back up to a fresh slide. This is what we have so far. We're not done until the cleanup is complete, but this will go pretty quickly. We're going to multiply by 3 and distribute the negative 6. Then, once we do that, we can see that we have two terms that say x sine x squared. We're going to combine those like terms. So negative 6 minus 12 is negative 18. And we're done. The main thing with this problem is we have to be extremely careful and very methodical. Take care. Have a great day.